How you doing, my little dessert junkies? I hope you are well. Well, last week I made some chocolate cupcakes and I asked you to decorate them, and guess who did? Charlie's Crafty Kitchen. Hello, Charlie and Ashley. Thank you so much for making my cupcakes into those amazing frogs. Click here to go check out their recipe. Now, this week's video is a lemon cheesecake. For me, cheesecake is my nemesis. I've never been able to actually make cheesecake effectively, but with this recipe, smashed it, man. I smashed it. This is how you make lemon cheesecake.
Okay, guys, first thing we need to do is align our springform tin that we're going to use to make our cheesecake. This is a 20 centimeter springform tin. And what I've done is I've got some long strips of parchment paper or baking paper, and I've cut little slits, probably about a centimeter apart, and I've allowed them to fold so that they'll fold underneath the bottom of the springform tin. And then I'll slide the top of the springform tin, the bottom of the springform tin over the top so that we've got a nice even sides. Then I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper just a little bit bigger than the bottom. I'm going to cut it by folding it into fourths, cut around the side to make the circle, and then it should all fold out to be essentially the circle that we're going to put on the bottom of our tin. So work with this a little bit. This is just a way that I do it. I always find this works best for me, but it's all up to you. But make sure you really do line your springform tin as much as it's non-stick. Always helps. To make the base, I've got some butter snap cookies here is what they call it. But essentially, you just want to use a sweet cookie. You can use a graham cracker, for example. And you want to blitz this till it's nice and fine. Now, if you don't have one of these blitzers, feel free to wrap it in a tea towel in a plastic bag and take out your aggression with something very heavy. And of course, my whizzer is not very big, so I have to do it in batches and put it in a bowl. Then you want to add in your melted butter, and then we want to mix all this together so it becomes nice and sticky and it sort of holds its shape, sort of like wet sand, but really wet sand. You know what I'm talking about. Then tip it into the bottom, and you want to make sure that you try and tip this as even as possible so that you don't have, one side heavier than the other. It should be nice and even. Now, to really help compact this down, spread it out and then get yourself a very heavy glass. This is a really top tip I stole from the One Pot Chef, by the way. And push it down so it's nice and even. The glass being around will help you get into those corners. Pop this in the fridge, and then it's time to start making our filling. To make the filling, I've just got some cream cheese here that has come up to room temperature. It's so important to get it to room temperature before you try and mix it so it becomes nice and even and lovely and fluffy and no lump. While that's going, you get to that point, it's now time to add in 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Don't lick the sides, they're sharp. Doesn't that look just awesome? I know. Then it's time to add in our gelatin. Now, I absolutely suck at gelatin, so I made my gelatin up with very, very hot water, and I also passed it through a sieve, as you can see, just to make sure there are absolutely no lumps with the gelatin. Make sure your water is really hot and it's really, really well mixed in if you're going to use gelatin, and that will help set our cheesecake fantastically. That's the part I struggle with, guys. Gelatin, it's not my friend. Then we've got some lemon juice. Now, the lemon juice, I'm adding it gradually so that it works in. You don't want it to be one big watery lump into our cheesecake. And then lemon zest it is time for. So with the lemon zest, I've grated around 2 lemons for me. They gave me around 2 tablespoons, and I've put those ingredients below for you. And slowly add that in so that you don't get a big lump of the lemon zest as well. It also helps this time, if you can, grate a bit more because we're going to use that to top it at the end. Now, I've gone to the trouble of whipping this so that I've got some air in it, so I'm not going to go and bash it out when I get rid of my paddle from my KitchenAid here. And you can make this in a food processor. You don't need a KitchenAid. So don't be an idiot and tip all the air out of it. Slowly start folding that cream cheese flavouring in. And once you've got it all in there, you want to try and make it as even as possible. Try and get rid of any lumps and bumps. And a really good tip for that, to make sure that you haven't got any air bubbles as well, is once you're happy with it, is to pick it up and give it a bit of a tap onto the bench. That will get out the even lumps and give it a bit of a shake. Pop it in the fridge, and then it's almost time to serve. At least 4 hours overnight. Serve with some whipped cream and some more of that lemon zest. You're going to love this one, guys. Lemon cheesecake.
Now guys, thank you so much for helping me get to my goal of 2,000 subscribers. I'm at 1,900 and something, so I've reached the 1,900 mark. So please keep sharing, keep liking, keep favoriting, and help me get to my goal of 2,000 subscribers. Also, don't forget, explode. That's right, I'm going to explode. I'm going to be there in Melbourne. It is on the 8th of March. You can get your tickets by going to explode.com.au. It's going to be an amazing event, and I really hope to see you there.